Hello, Charles.
Oh, how you doing?
I'm doing well, sir. This is the first lucky contestant.
Yes, you were. You popped right up
Okay.
there. No.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, the rest of the gang is right behind you there.
John, let's see your project.
Oh, it's drying.
You
No,
said you're just trying?
no,
Dry.
it's drying.
Oh, it's drying. Okay.
Yes. I want to get the full impact after it dries.
Okay. Well,
The
good.
color settles,
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, John, that vaguely sounds kind of like that thing. It's like when your loved one is, you're getting ready to go out, right?
Huh?
On a date at night or something like
Yeah.
that, go out to dinner or something. She's in there getting herself all fixed up and everything in the bathroom. It's like, no, I can't come out yet. My hair's not ready.
There you go. Same type of thing. Yes.
Same type
Okay.
Okay.
Very good.
You're not ready to unveil it. That's
Correct.
Right.
There you go. There you go. Have patience, lady. Have patience.
All right, I will.
Hey, John, she's
Yes.
become your biggest fan, man.
Hey, very good.
That's
I'm
good.
a fan of hers as well. So.
You've got a fan base. There you go.
Yeah, right. There you go. The next video you play the commercials, I can see how to market my materials.
We could cover stuff like that too. There's actually there's actually a lot of really good, useful information out on the net, particularly like on YouTube, about doing exactly that thing. How do you get your work online? How do you market it? How do you begin to
Right.
sort of figure out, how you're going to market yourself, as an artist.
Right.
Because all the rules have changed.
Yeah.
Now, in fact, actually having a gallery could actually, in fact, work against you.
I would say so. Yes. Definitely.
Yeah, rather than actually work for you.
Right.
But then, galleries, they've actually started changing, sort of their approach to things. And now, rather than holding physical artwork, what they do is they build libraries of artist work that they promote. So everything is still online. It's all digital.
Right.
So it's it's transitioning, it's changing all the time. But there's probably never been a time where artists or individual creatives have had a better opportunity to directly market, to their potential.
Right. Very true. Very true.
Yeah, it's just finding out or figuring out how to use that. Okay.
Well,
Anyway,
now that I have a fan base, I'll have to look into it.
right. All you have to do is she's got to become your disciple. She's got to get out there and start promoting you.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you for the tip.
That's right. Sending everybody to look at your work.
Oh, shoot. So.
So
Very
anyway,
good.
all right. So anyway, we're going to get started, and I'm going to start sharing. I'm going to start off sharing some of the work that you guys sent in, and we'll talk a little bit about it. Now, there's some drawing, there's some painting, there's some of a little bit of everything in here. Okay. So this is not this is not pure drawing by any means. Okay. And actually, I'm going to start at the bottom, just to be democratic about it, because usually I start at the top and we run out of time, or I'm rushed by the time we get to the bottom. Is Wanda here?
This is mine. It's Susan.
Okay. Yeah, this is right. Yeah, but I'm going to start down here.
Oh,
Okay, and I'm going to work my way back up.
Oh, we saw that the other day.
Yeah, yeah, she did. Yeah, she sent it in the other day, and this is Wanda's, and I'm pretty sure this is colored pencil.
She
And,
changed the halo.
pardon?
She changed the halo.
No,
Yeah.
she hasn't.
No, she
Yeah,
didn't.
she has not changed the halo yet.
Uh-uh.
Oh, I thought she did. Okay.
No, I don't see a change at all in that one. I don't know.
This hasn't changed. This is the same
Okay.
we were looking at now. She needs to change the halo. That's the idea, is to sort of soften that or blend it back into the background. And that way, you know, the figure will sit forward. Right now, this is a little bit distracting. And, you know, this is not an uncommon thing to have happen, you know, when people first start out, because they get a little nervous about coloring right up to the edge. You know, they don't want to cross over that edge. And so, you know, they stay away from it a little bit. And what ends up happening is you get this kind of effect. And, you know, unless she's trying to say that this person is, you know, like saintly or, you know, otherworldly, you know, then it always comes off as being a little bit kind of odd. So we talked about, you know, her bringing the color into the hair, actually. And because this is a fairly pale light blue in color pencil, and this seems to be some kind of wash of, I think she said it was charcoal or something like that. You know, she can actually bring that blue across, you know, into the hair, and it really won't show up that much. And what will happen is it ends up just softening the edge so that the outside edge of the hair is not as dominant as the features of the face. And so in that sense, it can actually work very effectively for her to actually make her head feel like it's round and it's got volume, right? By just doing that and breaking that hard edge up along the edge there, okay? This is another one of her pieces. We had seen it earlier. She came back. Now this one she did update, and
Yes.
she darkened down the lattice. And see how it's beginning to separate the lattice from the grass?
It's a lot better.
And now the grass is beginning to look like it's actually kind of brighter and lit up, right? Because now she's got a value contrast. And so, you know, that's beginning to work. My only comment to her, again, was that she did it with the lattice going this way. She needs to also do it with the lattice moving in this direction, so that they're all kind of a similar, same value. Could be different color. It can be gray, but again, it's got to be darker so that the values fit together. And it all seems the same thing, okay? Anybody got any questions about that one? No? All right, and then this is Richard's face minus the mask, okay? We saw this piece earlier and he actually had a face mask on it. In fact, we'll see it coming up next. So this is,
Try this one up here.
pardon?
Try the one above it.
Right,
Two above it.
yeah, well, no, it's the one above it, yeah. Well, yeah, you've got two up there. Yeah, this is what he sent in first, and this is with the mask covering it up. But this was, my point was, this was the original drawing, okay? And so he put the mask over it because he didn't like the way, I guess, the nose and the mouth came out, all right? So now, he worked on it a little bit more. You know, he did another drawing, actually. And so, all right. So now the features of the face and things feel a little more like noses and mouths and things like that. They're still really lineal, okay? There's not any tone, and there's nothing in here to really tell you that the form is turning yet, right? Now this, you know, because it is such a lineal drawing, if you go back and look back in art history, this kind of reminds me of a drawing by either like Albert Beardsley, Gustav Klimt, or say Egon Schiele, right? Who used, you know, this very defined outline. you know, to define the boundaries of the figure. Now, Richard, what I was going to say to you is that if you want to emphasize, say, the facial features and get them to come forward, then you could soften this outline around the chin here. Just take it, you can either take your finger or you can take a kneaded eraser and don't erase it totally, but just soften it so it's not as strong as, say, you know, the line work in the nose and the eyes and things like that. And then what you'll notice is that, you know, the center of the face will begin to appear to move forward, and this outline will begin to move backward, okay? And it's a real subtle thing, but, you know, you've got all the basics there. You just need to adjust, you know, the weight and the darkness of that line a little bit, okay? And just soften it back a little. All right. And Naomi sent in quite a few
You
things.
want to do the one on the bottom first? That one. Okay, now that, I want
Oh,
folks to see what they think it is. What does it mean?
can I take a message?
Werewolf, werewolf.
Yeah, it's her dark side coming out.
No, but there's something else. Notice the head of the animal,
Mhm.
and
Black
she's
Panther.
got a head.
Please
On
let me say
the-
something here. My wife takes care of all of that.
Yeah, Richard,
You don't let me do any of it. So
Richard.
I'll
Hey,
take-
Richard.
Richard, can you mute yourself, please?
No.
All right. All right.
Now, someone told me they thought it meant that women are two-faced. And I feel that it's woman hear me roar.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I clearly see the two heads, and because they're connected and the way that they're connected, I kind of get the fact that, yeah, this is like a different side of her. You know, there's the pretty, you know, attractive side of her. And, you know, she could be,
Tough,
yeah, kind of, you know, she might bite your head off.
right.
So that's the way I read it. Okay.
Yeah, that's the meaning.
Yeah, that's just me. Okay. I think
Naomi
I think
always says she's
what is that?
she
Bert?
always, no, but she's feisty.
She's feisty. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
that's
am.
She always says about herself.
Yeah.
I
That's
am.
a nice way of saying it too. Yeah. All right. Okay. And then this is lovely.
That's
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah, it's really nice. A great color. It's very soft. You know. See, you're beginning to make. You know, you're taking that real colorful graphic sort of approach that you were working with, and you're beginning to soften it down. And yeah, this is really getting to be quite lovely.
Thank you.
So what do you think of this? What do you?
I think the top of her head, we don't need that line. That's a mistake there.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
See that line on the top of her forehead?
Yeah,
That's a little mistake.
right here.
Yeah.
So now this is all. Is this all watercolor or?
Yes, it's watercolor.
Okay, so then just take a little bit of water.
Yeah,
Let it sit on top of there for a minute.
right,
And let it kind of diffuse it and soften
right.
it. And you can take after you put the water on it, after you let it sit for a minute, you take a little bit stiffer brush and don't scrub it really hard, but just gently kind of work over it and soften it. And you know, you probably won't take it totally out, and you don't need to.
Right,
Yeah, but you can make it less prominent.
yeah.
All right.
Did you use a wet paper on that? And then do the paint?
That's a watercolor paper, and that's about 5 by 7.
Or was-
I'm
was the
I'm
paper-
doing
did you
small.
wet the paper first and then add the paint?
Oh, did I wet the paper first? No, I don't do that. I make it very watery, the background. No, I make,
That's what I
I'm
looked-
I'm
I thought that-
using a,
Yeah.
what do you call it? When it's dry. What do you call it when you're using a dry? What?
Dry brush?
No, I'm saying I'm not taking out of the tube. It's the set.
Oh, you're using a little palette.
I'm using the palette, and I just put a lot of water on the palette. Mhm. And you know what I do also? I take a napkin, and sometimes I blot it to soften it.
Mhm.
It's very effective.
Okay. You know, what John was, I think, asking, and I think maybe suggesting as well, with watercolor in particular, you know, because it relies on using water, you know, to move the paint around.
Uh-huh.
What you can do is, before you load your brush with color, let's say that you're doing the background, right? Well, you could take a large brush with just water, and you could load that area with just water. And then you can literally take your watercolor and drip it or drop it into it and let it kind of move and bleed, spread.
I'm gonna try that. That sounds good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's called a wet in wet technique.
Wet on wet. Okay,
Yeah,
let
wet
me
on wet.
write that down. I'm
And
gonna
so-
do that.
And it can give you, rather than a very kind of scrubbed, you know, brushy look to your watercolor,
Uh-huh.
something that's much softer and more organic.
Okay, I'm gonna do
Yeah.
that.
And you get to play with all kinds of color, you know, because you can just,
Yeah, that
really
sounds great.
yeah. And you see where you stop the water is where that edge going to end. So you know, if you really load it up, you know, you can really get a sharp edge with it. Or after you've loaded that and drip your color in there, you can always come back in with a wet, clean brush again and just go back over that edge and soften it so that it blends
Mm,
to the next color.
that's great. That's a good suggestion. I'm gonna do that.
Okay. Now this was just straight watercolor. This was not your watercolor pencil.
This was a straight watercolor.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because I know that you got the watercolor pencils and you were excited about those.
Yeah, well, I'm just playing around with everything.
Good. Good. I encourage that.
Okay, this, the woman, no, that we did already. Past that. You see the portrait I used, no, one up. We did that already. Okay, this one, I used
But now, Naomi,
liquid,
Naomi,
Right.
remember that there are people here now that may not have been in
oh,
class on
oh.
Wednesday.
Okay, this is soluble graphite that you introduced into a course at Benson, and I ran out and bought it.
Good. Yes. And I'm glad to see you still using it.
Yeah, I buy everything. I love to buy art supplies. Okay.
Yeah. How many of you are familiar with water-soluble graphite? Anybody?
Not
Okay.
at all. Oh,
Not at all.
Well, you can go out and buy, you know, like watercolor pencils and things now, you know, that are in colors. But they've actually produced a product called water-soluble graphite. And the stuff is amazing to use because you can use it just like any other graphite pencil. But, you know, you can also work into like a piece of Bristol board or museum board or watercolor paper, some kind of archival surface. Again, you know, much like you would with watercolor, you can wet an area down and then you can begin to draw into it. And, you know, the graphite actually dissolves in the water. And, you know, you can get some beautiful effects, you know, with working, you know, back and forth with the water and the graphite, you know, building up areas and things, and get things that you would never be able to get with just graphite by itself. And, you know, if you haven't tried that, you know, before, I would highly recommend that, you know, you go out and, you know, find some water-soluble graphite and try to draw with it, and then, you know, use like a clean brush and some water, you know, to go back in and soften areas and things like that. Let that dry, then go back in and redraw and see. Again, you know, it's this, you're always pushing and pulling back and forth. And the nice thing about the water-soluble graphite is that to some degree, you know, if you don't like an area, you can wet it. and then with a paper towel or something, you can sponge it out and lift a lot of that out of the paper and let that dry and then go back in and redraw it. So it's real workable, you know, very flexible. It's a lot, in many ways, it's like charcoal, but you get to work, you know, very wet with it. And you can get some really nice stuff. All right. I want to show the, you know.
Someone gave me a pencil. It's called Sketch and Wash.
Yes.
It's like a crayon pencil that you can draw on and then wet it down.
Right.
But it's not graphite.
They are. Yeah, it's a water soluble. Yeah, that's what we used at the Benson Center. Yeah, the Sketch and Wash pencils. Yeah, and they really handle beautifully, you know, in using water with them. So
I sent you an Indian portrait done with that plus white paint. Did you get that?
yeah, we're gonna get to it.
Oh, that's okay. I just wondered if you got it because everything acts up on me all the time, so I never know who gets what.
I know. Okay. Yeah, I did. I got that in the reference. Okay. Anyhow, so this is Naomi's color pencil piece, and you call this Sisters. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Asian woman, I really messed up on. And I should have had a Latino woman in to really cover everybody.
Okay. Well, but then you would have left out an Asian woman.
No, I'm going to do it again.
You either need to add one more,
One more.
you know. Yeah.
Cover them all.
Okay. Yep. Cover your bases there. All right.
Who's the redhead?
The redhead, does she look Irish? No, I don't know.
She could be German, you know, or Irish, or yeah, any of those fair-skinned, you know, ethnicities. All right, moving on. Okay, again, see, you're softening. That's good.
Yeah,
See?
but I have to try that wet on wet. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Okay, but do you see where your work is really changing, and you're using the color that you were using before, but it's much more effective here. You know, it's much softer, and I don't really know the feeling that you were going for, but I can tell you that this is a very pleasing effect.
Oh, thank you.
So
How,
This is a watercolor, and then the hair on the forehead, the bangs. I think I'm not sure if I used the pencil on that.
it's
Looks
not
like it.
thin. I
Yeah.
don't know how you get the thin line.
Mhm.
yeah, this looks like watercolor pencil maybe, and then this
Yeah.
is kind of like graphite out here.
It could be. My graphite pencil could
Yeah.
be.
Mhm. Yeah. All right, and then this is kind of where you came from, but even this again is a big improvement. You know, you're still breaking the flesh tones up into blocks of color, but because you've eliminated that hard outline around them, they're much softer in contrast to the line that you put down for the features. So
Okay, I have to forget those harder outlines.
yeah, around the color shapes you do, you know.
Okay,
Yeah, because again, you know, it made it look, you know, so graphic, it kind of flattened everything out.
okay, it flattens it out. Okay,
Yeah, and this is beginning to help it look a little like it's got a little more volume, okay,
okay.
and form to it. So that's kind of, yeah, here's an example of that flattening out.
Like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's real bold, it's real strong.
Dude, I like that, Naomi.
Yeah.
I made a mistake. I put my name. You see, I have such a big ego. I put my name on twice. No, I like this horsey. It's a design.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
More-
Naomi, my answer to you about putting your name down twice is
Yeah.
go ahead and put it down 3 more times.
Oh,
No, seriously. Go ahead.
why?
Well, why not?
I don't
You know,
know.
then it becomes another graphic element.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
I like the horns on that bull.
It's,
See, this is a
It's a-
real
it's a
abstract.
horse.
type of
It's a
thing.
horse.
He's a what?
it's a horse.
He's just trying to mess with.
Come on, Charles. Let me get on the roll.
Yeah. Okay. You do enough of that on Facebook. Okay. All right. Then we have this lady, and again,
Excellent.
I really like this drawing.
Mhm.
The overall feeling of it, and it's very kind of whimsical. Now, the only thing I would say to you is, as you use that pencil, you're still kind of like scribbling a lot.
Right.
So I think it was Pete Mondrian who said less is more. Okay.
Yes.
So it's like, take it down, just to a line. You don't need 15.
Uh-huh.
Okay. But be more definite about, okay, so the shape of her
Uh-huh. I
shoulder.
see what you mean.
And then it
Yeah.
wraps. Okay. And then the drawing will feel, much more complete and stronger.
Okay, fewer lines.
Yeah.
Fewer lines. I'm writing all this down. Okay.
Okay. All right. Then we have this, again, very kind of soft feel to it. See? And there's almost no lines in this, Naomi.
Yeah.
See, there's just a few sharp edges, right here at the lip. And, maybe this eye probably more than this one, right? And so really, this and the jawline are the things that kind of emerge out of the painting. And the rest of it is there, but it's subordinate to everything else. Okay? So it
I have
tells
a question for Naomi.
Yes.
Naomi, what do you do with all your art? Do you display it?
Oh, well, I have a basement that I have taken over, and that's my studio. So I have the entire wall of this huge basement is all my artwork, and then my house. I just display it all over the place, and I
Okay.
give it away too to friends and my family. Well, some of my family doesn't want all the artwork, but anyhow, I'm going smaller, so because I'm running out of room, so I'm doing 5x7, and people say to me, "What are you going to do with it?" I'm just enjoying doing it. It's part of my portfolio. And then when someone has a birthday or whatever, I bring it over, I frame it and give it to friends. I think the best gift an artist could give is some artwork.
Mhm.
That's the best
You know-
gift. If someone came to my house, instead of bringing me anything, my artist friends just bring a little something that they did.
Yeah, that's a nice gift.
Yeah.
Now, here's what you could do, because you have a great idea there. If
Hey,
you know,
may I say something to lady?
Yes.
That the person that you mentioned from Carolina, I did look him up.
Jonathan Green.
Yeah, I did look him up. I did see that picture.
The work is beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah. His work
Beautiful.
is
Okay.
Okay.
anyway, since these are so small and they are like 5x7, you could take some
I think it's
cardstock.
about 5x7.
Yeah, but you could take some cardstock, and fold it in half down to a 5x7 card size, and mount these as either the cover artwork or it's the artwork on the inside, and it makes like a little portfolio for it. You know.
Okay, say that again. You mean you make like
You make a card out of it.
you make a card?
So you take a blank, sheet of cardstock, something that's a little bit stiffer, right?
Uh-huh.
And you fold it in half, right?
Uh-huh.
So if it's a 5x7, then it's going to start off as a 10x7. You're going to fold it in half, and then you mount your artwork either on the inside of it, so it's more like a portfolio and it protects the artwork, or you can put it on the cover and then put a message or something on the inside, and it
I'm
becomes.
gonna, that's great. Yeah.
I
And-
have another question for Naomi.
Mhm.
Naomi, do you ever watch any YouTube videos?
What I watch is I watch on Sunday morning. There are two artists that do landscape and something else, and what I do is I look at a lot of artists on the computer, and that's
Yeah.
how I get inspired.
Okay,
I
because
see.
I'm surprised that you never heard, and I like watercolors and I want to go and do them, but I'm surprised that you never heard the technique wet on wet, wet on dry.
I think I have, but I've
But
heard
if
of
you look
that.
at YouTube, I mean, you would be a perfect candidate for looking at YouTube because it would just inspire you even more because this is such a beautiful piece we're looking at, and it's like something you see that other artists do on YouTube. So
Well, thank you.
You should
Yeah.
really go to, then you'll get a lot of inspiration.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I really get lost when I look at all the artists online. You know, there's so many, I get a lot of ideas from that.
Yeah, we all do, and that's
Yeah.
the best part about
It's
it.
wonderful. We're so lucky.
Yeah, I think it was Pablo Picasso said that, you know, you're only as good as what you can steal.
That's right. That's
Oh,
why I
you're
still
only
stand.
what you could steal.
Yeah,
But I have noticed there are artists that have done something. It's a good idea. Guess what? Then there's another artist who kind of does it, but in a little other way.
right.
So I'm not the only one who does that.
No. See, and
No, that's everybody.
you see, that's the value of having the internet. That's the value of having classes like this, is that you can see other people's work, and it gives you ideas, you know, things that you want to try, right? And just because you got inspired by, say, Pablo Picasso, right? You're not Pablo Picasso, and you're going to do it in your own way.
My own way.
Yeah, and it's going to become your piece of work because you're not going to do it the same way he did, right?
Right.
So you're
But
not
still,
copying anything, but you're
still, there's something not right about, well, I'm not selling anything, but when you take someone's idea that's very original, that is kind of, I don't think that's kind of right. I wouldn't sell it, but I do copy it. But these clever ideas, they're not mine, you know?
Hey Naomi, there's nothing new under the sun.
that's right.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you.
Somebody else thought of it a long time ago, so
Right.
there's nothing new.
Yeah,
You're making me feel better.
and the thing,
Good.
Naomi, is that even if you do steal that idea, right?
It's gonna be different.
Again, because you have a different experience than that person, you're going to approach it in a totally different
Different
way.
way.
And
Right.
it's going to maybe have a similar message, but it's going to be done in a new way that nobody's ever seen before because you've never done it before.
Yeah.
Okay. So look, you know, I mean, you can, you know, and you will, you know, you'll get your own ideas, but a lot of times where you get your own ideas is because you've seen something else and you may not even remember it. You may not even be conscious of it, but you've seen this idea and it kind of just percolates for a while. And then you all of a sudden begin to see an image or get an idea and you want to do a piece of artwork, not even realizing that it really related to that thing that you saw earlier. And
I'll
that's
tell you what else. I also see things that I see other people's artwork, what I don't like.
Mhm. Yeah.
And then you learn from that they execute it perfectly, but I just don't like it. And then you get an idea I wouldn't do it. Like if it's a landscape and there's too much green, you know, too much, then I realize I don't want to do that.
okay. Yeah, and see, again, you know, you're learning, you know, because your reaction or your experience, you know, to that piece of artwork, and that's going to influence other pieces of artwork that you do. Okay, so maybe you don't like green, so instead of doing landscapes that are all green, you know, maybe they're purples and reds and greens. And
Well,
browns.
I'm going to work on it. I mean, that's the fun thing about art is you're never done.
No.
You're never done. You can always learn more. It's such a fun thing to do. It's so stimulating.
Anyway, so yeah, this is one of your, again, you know, you've taken a step past where you were. And so these are, you know, these are a lot stronger than say what you were doing 3 weeks ago. Okay, and they're
Mhm.
beginning, the forms and the faces are beginning to hold together, you know, as a face, because you're not breaking them up.
I see what you mean.
Okay, you know, your clown, same thing.
Well, he's too scratchy because
A little bit.
I realized I should have done watercolor for his hat. See?
You could have, and you still,
Yeah.
you know, yeah, you could use watercolor. You could go over it with charcoal or graphite, and you know,
Yeah.
or
I
those,
got to work on him.
or those graphite pencils, you know,
Yeah.
and then wet
Yeah.
it to make it feel more solid.
Well, that was my mistake. You know.
You know. Anyway, and then there's this young lady. Okay, and again, you know, you're beginning to get a lot softer. You know, watch your outlines though. You know,
Okay.
here
Too
because
much outline.
yeah, this one is a bit. I mean, maybe here, but then kind of up here, I would soften it.
I see what you mean.
Yeah, because see, the hair actually moves forward, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that. And see, this line kind of goes in under it. So, you know, I would probably eliminate or soften this. And that way, you know, the outline of her face and her hairline becomes a little more dominant. Now, just because you take this out, don't come back under here and make it darker. All right. Just leave it the way it is. Let it be the change in color, you know, but to see, take that out and
Yeah.
it's, you know, you
Too much.
yeah, you see it, you go back down here and focus, you know, more where you want to. See, this is like one of the strongest, hardest edges in the whole painting. And it's like, why is that so important, right?
Right.
Right. Now, yeah, she's adorable.
My husband loves her.
Yeah, I can see why. Yeah, she is. She, you know, kind of a really adorable character. Same thing, you know, I mean,
Now
again.
this one, my problem is, look at her profile, the chin. She needs to be thinner under the chin going towards her hair. See what I mean?
Yeah, the neck.
The neck and the face is too heavy. I have to work on my profiles.
She's a well-fed girl.
Yeah, but that wasn't my intention. Yeah, but okay.
Did you have a guide? Did you have a model or
reference? You would never know the model that I copied it from. You would never know. It looks nothing like what I would. Okay, my inspiration was a black and white and a very sexy woman. So I'm going to work on that again. I really didn't get it what I wanted to, so I'm going to do it again. But it's a sexy, sophisticated woman, and it's nothing like this. So
well,
I'm going to do the other one.
If you look at her expression, it kind of looks sexy.
I don't know. I
you
don't
look
like
at
her.
from the mouth up.
Yeah.
She looks, you know, a little bit
Okay.
with her hair kind of, you know, kind of casual.
Yeah.
And an eye kind of closed. You know, she looks a little sexy from the top up.
Yeah. All right. So now I'm going to share this with you. None of you did this, okay? But some of you, in fact, yeah, probably a large number of you, have met this young lady. She was one of our models, okay, who came to Benson and posed for us. She's also an artist. And she started painting this series of work. And so this is what she's doing.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, so she's working all, you know, just in a series of work. And she asked me to, you know, kind of give her critique. And so this is Leanna, of which many of you have drawn or painted at various times. Some of you know her as the girl without the hair. Because remember, we hired her as a model. She had hair one week and came back the next week, and she had totally shaved it all off.
And she's the one that had the big, she was holding a flower.
Uh-huh, yeah. Yeah, the amaryllis. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, amaryllis, yes.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, this is her artwork. And
beautiful.
So, yeah, and, you know, the interesting thing is, you know, she's working very simply. It's all just black. or white. She's not creating any gradations or anything. But, you know, look at the overlapping shapes and how she plays with the negative and positive where they overlap.
Mhm.
And, you know, it's really kind of fun, kind of nicely done. I kind of want to see where she goes from here, you know, as these develop. So she sent those to me the other day, and I thought I would share them all with you.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah, because in a way, they're almost like a drawing or a print, right?
Mhm.
They are so graphic. Then we come to
Are
Lawrence.
they on wood?
No, they're on canvases.
Oh, the little ones on the bottom look like they've got dimension, almost like a little square of wood.
Yeah, they are. They're gallery wrap canvases.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, they're about 1.5 inches, 2 inches thick.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, but the canvas actually wraps around the edge and behind. And so, you know, a lot of artists will paint that edge, and it really kind of becomes a continuation of the artwork.
You see the work on the right. I see two faces. Look at the bottom. I see two faces. I see faces in that one.
Okay, you could. I can see where you might see that.
I see dead
The
people.
big one. The big one.
Cincinnati.
And the one on the left, you can see hand. You can see a hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, hand, but I see Pinocchio nose kind of thing. That's very interesting.
Mhm.
All right. So now that
Oh,
we've
man.
all taken the Rorschach test. All right. All right. So this is Larry. All right. Larry, you want to tell us about these?
Only thing that comes to mind is I was commissioned by the Catholic Church and to do this, so
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna let imagination run wild here. Is that okay, everybody?
Okay.
I felt like I was moved spiritually by this one, so
Whatever moves you.
sorry, Charles, I ruined it.
And where did it move you to?
It moved me closer to God.
Okay.
All right. Good answer.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. It didn't take you to South Dakota?
Well, I mean, the devil was pulling on my shoestrings, but I kept looking up.
You know what, Lawrence? Looks like she's saying she's
Can
here's you, and then she said,
guys hear
"Oh
that
no, Lawrence."
Motor running up behind me.
Yeah, she's like, really? Come on.
She's saying, "Oh no, Lawrence."
Yeah, can you come up with a better one than that, Larry? That's what she's saying. Oh,
Yeah,
anyway,
I did it for the Baptist church. How's that?
whoever. I don't think many Baptists, dress like that.
I've got a running start on this right here. Can anybody see that?
No, we can't. I can't even see you.
On the day of baptism,
dial me and
it
find
might
me,
look
but-
like that.
Hear you.
I saw two eyes.
2 eyes. Yes, me too.
That's my start.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm looking for you. Still don't. Oh, yes. Okay, there you are. Yes.
Where
Okay.
is it?
All right.
Oh, I just see the little girl.
Oh, I see 2 eyes.
There you go. 2 eyes.
So that's the start of my drawing. We'll see what it
Oh,
looks
now
like
I
on
see
Monday.
the 2 eyes.
Oh, you mean in his picture?
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Yeah, on
saw
my
that.
camera.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, Larry,
Yes,
you
sir.
started with the eyelashes and you're working out again, huh?
No, I drew the eyes and the eyelashes were last.
Well, they were the last part of the eyes, but now you got to fit the rest of the face around it.
Yeah, but if you probably couldn't see very well, but I have some very thin lines drawn in, trying to outline where each part of the face goes, the nose, the mouth.
Okay. No, I couldn't. see
The
those.
eyes are kind of cocked sideways, just a hair.
Yeah, it's kind of a 3/4 view of the face. Okay. All right. Well, we'll see how you do with that. Okay.
See where that moves you.
Now,
I feel confident.
yeah. See what kind of state that puts you in. Okay. All right. So then we have this little girl doing the very Asian-looking pose. The little hand thing. And again, I kind of talked about this earlier, but the thing that works really nice here, Larry, is that even though you've got like the outline of the head and things like that, they're not as strong as the central features. So your eye is drawn, you know, to really her eyes and nose, even more than the mouth, because you've softened and you've played down even the hands and things like that. They don't overwhelm the drawing. And so you really focus, you know, right in that triangle right there, you know, between the eyes and the bottom of the nose. So you're beginning to handle those things really well.
If I put some eyelashes on those eyes, it would have helped a little bit.
Not really.
Well, it would have got rid of that hard line that's above them.
Yeah, I mean, you could soften it a bit, but you know, the value is right. I mean, it needs to be a darker line in there. So, and that's what you have. So,
I think what you got there looks really good. I think you add the little eyelashes and that kind of stuff. I think you'll ruin the look of the whole piece to me.
Yeah, it will become overworked very quickly, or it could be. So, yeah, you gotta watch that.
The simplicity of that is beautiful.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, you know, we kind of talked about this one earlier this week as well. But again, you know, it's really nice the way he handled the fabric, and that he's got the fabric kind of moving around the figure. And his folds are not like real repetitive. A little bit here or there, but for the most part, you know, handled pretty well.
That was done on a newsprint also. So it wasn't a great paper.
No, okay. But now, here's the thing. When I look at this, all right, where I look and what keeps drawing my eye is really, you know, the area of the shoulder and right in here.
Yeah,
and
I see that. It
not
pulls
so
on there also.
Huh?
The shoulder is where I looked first.
Right.
And then I started looking around to see what the drawing was all about.
Right. Now, my question is, you know, it seems like the most dramatic thing about this drawing is really the expression of the hand and the face. And so my question is, why are you making the shoulder more dominant than really kind of where the story is, which is right here?
Well, you know, the shoulder is more forward than the whole rest of the body.
Could be. But
I mean, you can see the angle of the body. I mean, you don't even hardly see the other shoulder at all.
Okay.
Don't see it at all.
But you know, if you look and if you raise, say you had a spotlight and you raise the light from the shoulder to the face, even though the shoulder is in front, you would really see the face and the hand.
Right. Yeah, it's a matter of the contrast.
Right.
And you've got more contrast here than you do here. And again, wherever you want to place your focal point, that's really where you want to have the most contrast in both value, hard and soft edges. In this case, you don't have to worry about color or temperature so much, right? Because it's basically, you know, grayscale. So, so really, you know, sharp edges and, you know, value contrast are going to be the things that you're going to use to really key in on where the focal point of the drawing is. And so if this is supposed to be it, then it's, you know, it's not doing what you wanted to do. If this is what you wanted everybody to look at, then that's working just fine. Okay. So think about
Hey, Charles.
Yeah.
If you did that with the face and hand, wouldn't that then diminish the emphasis of it's further into the picture and the shoulder is further out?
No, not
necessarily. Would you lose that? Would you lose that?
No, not necessarily. No, because, you know, coming down from the neck or this piece of fabric right here, wrapping around the edge of that before the shoulder comes off, again, you can break that line so that you read it as one form overlapping another, and still the shoulder would move forward from where the head is, but the head would be more of the focal point. Okay. And, you know, the fact is really where everything is really dramatic, you know, as far as the pose goes, is right here, you know. it's his expression or her expression. You know, it's almost like despair. You know, they're like hand in their head, and so me, you know, if I were going to do that drawing, you know, this is what I would want to focus on. This is what I would want to emphasize right here, and then let the rest of it be soft. Okay.
You know, every picture tells a story. Every person sees it a different way.
Sure. Yeah.
And I could probably give you 5, 6 different stories in a hurry about this picture alone.
Okay.
That, you know, maybe the person is kneeling down and bowing, you know, as Jesus passes by on the cross, probably on the cross, you know.
Okay.
But I was young when I did this one. I was probably about 62. So
Yeah.
I was a young man back then.
Okay.
Oh well, that's my story. That's it.
That's like 4 years ago.
You're the only one that caught that, aren't you?
Yeah.
I was thinking 20 years ago.
You were the only one that caught that, Charles.
No, I caught it, Larry. I just was
you know,
laughing
Larry,
to
you and
Well,
I.
don't be afraid to speak up. Let's have some fun today, guys. It's Friday.
So yeah. Anyway, okay, it's all in your mind there. All right. Anyway, this is June. June, this is her horse, and she did a really lovely drawing of the horse itself. And you know, in many ways, she did a painting of this, and I think that the drawing is really much stronger than the painting is at this point. And so she's got some work to do on the painting, but you know, she got the movement and the proportions of this horse, and you know, she's got the hip and everything kind of moving forward. This is closer to us. This is further away. And so, you know, the drawing part is really working very nicely. And I kind of want to see what she does with the painting, because we critiqued it the other day, and she didn't have, it didn't seem like she had the same understanding, you know, of what was going on, and she didn't paint it, you know, the way that she drew it. So, yeah, but it's a lovely drawing. It's got a lot of action and movement in it. So, I want to see where she goes with that. She's got a seated figure, you know, somebody sitting down on a stool.
My helper.
Your helper? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my question is, does your helper have a big head?
Yeah, a little bit bigger.
A little bit of a big head?
Maybe it's too big, right?
And then maybe you got, you know, maybe you got it right. Okay. Yeah, because the proportion of the head to the body seems to be a little distorted. Okay. And it is, and I think you're right in the sense that it looks, the way you drew it, it appears like you're looking down, you know, at them, rather than at, you know, kind of eye level. They seem to be below you, right? And, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's got that feeling, right? So, you know, the head might be distorted a little bit closer to you, but then the shoulders and things like that, yeah, probably, you know, need to be bigger, or the head needs to be smaller so it fits.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a proportion thing. Don't worry about it. Don't go back and, I mean, if you wanted to, just as an exercise, you know, work at trying to get those proportions more correct, then I wouldn't change this drawing. What I would do is I'd go back and I would redraw it, okay? And be a little more conscientious about the proportions and what you're trying to say as to whether, you know, the, you know, like the hip area is further away from you than the shoulder, which is further away from you than the top of the head. So you can play with that, you know.
Good job.
Perspective.
Thank you.
Okay. And then we have this lovely young lady. Okay. And you did a nice job with this. You know, I liked the kind of sweeping lines and the motion, you know, with the hair and how it kind of moves into, you know, the face, and how you separated the planes of the face between light, you know, really strongly on this side, and shadow on this side. Now, the only kind of critical comment I'd make about it is that, again, you know, you kind of lay down your values, right? And everything's on the skin surface, not on the hair, is all kind of moving at an angle, and it's all the same, right? So you're not really following the form of the chin and the face and the mouth and things like that. So again, you know, when you start laying down that tone, start thinking about what's that surface doing, you know? Is it flat or is it actually curved? And if it's curved, then lay your tone down in a curve, not a straight line. Okay?
Oh, yeah, I see.
Yeah,
What
follow.
you're talking about.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, because those little pencil lines, even though they fall together as a value, your eye moves with them, and it helps describe the form, you know, that you're drawing. Okay?
Okay.
Got this young fellow or woman. Is this a guy or is this a woman?
Mischievous.
I don't know. Look, I just copy this. I don't know.
You got it? Okay. Well, your drawing kind of looks a little bit like a man. Okay.
Like man.
Yeah. Now, I guess my question to you is this, okay? Does he have a dirty face, like, you know, he's been working or something like that? Because he's got this dark value. Now, it could be a beard or something like that, but the value right here seems to be sort of out of character for the rest of the face. Okay.
Yeah, the too much this. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like it can be there, but maybe not that strong. Okay. And then
Yes.
softened it a little bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, then it would kind of feel like, okay, it turned into another plane of the face. Right? But because of the way you laid it down, and it's kind of still scratchy and not kind of smooth, then it kind of flattens that area out, and it could be like hair, it could be maybe he's got grease on his face, something like that, like he's a mechanic. I don't know. So
Something about that. I like the feel of that drawing. And only thing I would say is the nose, where the nostril is.
Yeah.
If she can kind of erase some of that darkness there and bring the nostril down to size.
She
You
could.
see what I'm talking about, Charles?
Yeah, she could. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the side plane of the face bothers me more than the nose.
And I love the smile the guy has. He has no teeth.
Thank you.
Grinning.
Looks like one of those country hicks, isn't it, from the mountains?
If
Okay.
you white person, he could look like a clown.
Well,
Yeah, a little
He
bit.
needs a red nose.
Yeah.
Boy, this has been a vicious Friday afternoon.
I know. They're getting tough, aren't they?
Well, I knew I shouldn't have got stoned, my son.
Oh, well. Anyway.
Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that.
All right. So then this is June's last drawing. And this is really nice, June. I mean, you know, you got kind of a nice fluid figure, you know, happening. You know, you got a real strong, where's my cursor? Right here it is. Okay. A nice, you know, kind of line, you know, moving down, you know, the figure. And remember the video from earlier today, they were talking about, you know, the gesture or the rhythm. And so this is a, you know, this is a real good example of, you've emphasized that line. That's sort of the leading edge of the figure, right? And so that's much stronger than all of the rest of this. And so, you know, you pick up, you know, that nice kind of fluid movement, you know, that she's, you know, she's in the middle of.
I like the stomach.
Uh-huh. Yeah, she's got, you know, kind of nice volume and form, you know, moving around the figure.
Very nice.
Yeah. Yeah, she's handled that, you know, really pretty well. Now, again, June, where you're getting into a little bit of trouble is like here in the arm. And you need to soften those values.
Yeah, I have the trouble here. I don't know how to do it.
Yeah, just take a paper towel or take, like if you have a stump, or you can use a Q-tip and just blend, just soft.
Oh,
This, I mean, don't try to make it any lighter necessarily, but just kind of blend it so it's not quite so scratchy.
plenty. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
That kind of scratchy feel isn't helping you to really
okay.
describe the form or anything else. Okay. All right. So,
Okay, thanks.
sure. This is Jean Goldstein's. Now, this is the reference photo. So, she has this gentleman here who he's probably either Hopi or Navajo, if I had to guess. He could be Apache, but probably Hopi or Navajo. And, he's got the little kind of stocking cap on and the silver and bead jewelry. And then this is her drawing. So, blow that. That was the reference that she worked with. This is her actual drawing. And so I guess the thing I would say to you, Jean, is you got a pretty good feeling for the character of who this is, but your proportions are a little bit off in the sense that, the size of the back of the head, you can make a little bit larger so that the face sort of fits with it. It's like you've shrunk the top of his head and then you can emphasize the face, right?
In other words, on the left-hand side, the top needs to be from about the hair where the ear is.
Yeah, maybe just out a little bit further, Yeah, maybe, I don't know how big the drawing is, but, maybe, on what I'm seeing on the screen, like maybe, a 1/4 of an inch more or a 1/2 inch more. And not in height, but in depth.
Width.
Yeah, okay? And that would give him a little more weight to the back of his head, and it would feel a little more balanced, okay?
Right.
Let's see, moving on up. We got Bernice, and she was doing some, Bernice, are you there?
Yes, but actually, I sent you a letter today and said I want to show it later because I thought about redrawing it again.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't got that.
Okay.
But I did get these the other day. And
that's sideways.
right.
The bottom is on the left. Yeah, like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And okay, so I mean we can talk about them later, but I thought I would just kind of show them today a little bit. And
I can talk about it today too. But like I said,
okay.
I thought about doing it later. It doesn't have the feel that I wanted. I was telling you that the day after Martin Luther King died, when I woke up, I was really surprised that the world was still there, really. Head, but more like the way my heart felt. When I looked at the trees were like melting around me. And that's what I was trying to show.
Okay.
But I want to redo it again to make it really, to make it better.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Now, how big is it?
That one is about 3 by 5. The first one is about 5 by 7.
Okay, so these are really small.
Right.
Okay. Well, and are you using acrylic?
Yes.
Okay.
What I did on the first one was I don't know what I just thought I'm just going to pour some green on and let it melt down, but it didn't melt the way I thought. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it often doesn't come out the way we see it in our head. So,
No.
but you have, what you were describing, that feeling of it dripping and running. You've got a good feeling for that, with the red streaks, kind of moving through it. And you need either another color or a second value, so that you get the contrast, which you've got, with the red and how it kind of, it's almost like a marbled paper feeling to it. So, you're on the right track here. Just keep experimenting, and maybe try some different, maybe try some darker greens and lighter greens with some red together and see if that gives you more contrast and shows those drips more the way you want them to, okay?
Charles, can you go back to her other picture?
Yeah, this one up here.
Yes. You know, Bernice, you know what this looks like to me? Did you see the movie The Color Purple? Bernice.
Bernice, are you there?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was muted for a moment. Okay. Yes, I did see The Color Purple, yes.
Okay, you know, that looks like the scene when the elephant came out of the grass, because that gray the gray part looks like an elephant to me, about to emerge out of that scene.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Do you see that?
I do. It was supposed to be a path through the woods.
Yeah,
but I see what you're talking about too, though.
Yeah, it looks like, if you haven't seen that movie, Spielberg made it without any of his signature special effects, but the effects that he had on there was so breathtaking. And that is my favorite scene of the movie, when the elephant emerged from the grass.
Oh, I've seen that movie countless times.
Yeah, and that's what that looks like. That was the most breathtaking part of the movie too. That was just so beautiful. That's what that looks like.
Okay. I'll go back and look at that too then.
Go back and look at it.
Yeah, I mean, again, you know, with what you were describing, you know, I think you're kind of on the right track. And I think it's just getting used to working with the media. And, you know, you might have to try it, you know, multiple times, you know, till you kind of begin to get what you want. And then after that dries, you can be a little more selective. You can block areas back out again, you know, and just kind of keep the drip parts where you want it. So, but I would kind of start with the drips and then, you know, build the rest of it around it. Okay.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. And then we have Susan. Susan, are you here, Susan?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, Susan sent these in, you know, over the lunch.
I did that a long time ago, but it's just a bunch of views of an old-fashioned telephone. But.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I like
it's almost, not quite, but almost kind of a cubist approach where, again, you know, you're looking at different sides or different views and combining them all into one image. Pardon me. Okay. We have bottles here. Let's see if I can blow those up a little bit.
Okay. Yeah.
And then move them up. So, okay. So, was this more recent, Susan?
No, it was a while back too. Some of these I've just kind of went through my collection and sent, but I've got some recent ones in there too. But
okay,
this is older too.
Yeah, what I was going to say is, you know, you've been sort of sitting in on these classes now for what, about maybe 2-3 months now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, if you took some of the things that we talked about, you know, about value and contrast and things like that, and then let's say you took a wine bottle and you tried redrawing it now, I wonder how much different they would be now from the time when you did these, see?
Yeah, it would probably be different. It would have more shading and more, yeah, they would be different.
I would kind of like to see, like, the contrast of that, you know, and I would kind of like you to see the contrast of that too, you know, because again, as we kind of mature as artists and as we learn, you know, or get more information, you know, and we begin to kind of incorporate that into our work, it helps our work evolve, it helps our work change, and it's good to see that evolution, you know, every once in a while. So let's see, then we have this, okay, and it looks like a funnel and some wood.
Yeah.
To me. So what's really going on there?
Yeah, it was just a still life that one of the teachers put together that I just drew, but
it had a lot of shapes, triangles, squares, funnels.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I guess my question is, did he take the wood and, you know, it looks like he added nails in there to kind of
Yeah,
nail
the nails are there.
Okay.
Lift the wood a little bit.
Yeah, you got a crack in the wood, you got your wood grain and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and again, this is one of these that, and I'm sure you don't have this sitting around your house, right?
No.
But if you took blocks of wood and maybe like a hard either plastic or metal object, and then you redrew them, understanding the differences in how surfaces reflect light, things like that. I'm wondering, how much different they would be. Okay.
Right. Well, probably.
Yeah. And is this
Oh, that's
recent?
good.
Yeah, that's an old pocketbook.
I love
Well,
that.
old is it an old drawing of a pocketbook? I guess I should say.
And it's an old picture too. But,
Okay. All right, because that's all I've gotten from you. Okay. Did you say?
I sent you 8 things. You didn't get the other 4?
No, I haven't seen those yet, but I may have run out of time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I sent you 4 more. So.
Okay. All right. Well, I will go back and download those, and we'll try to get them in the mix next week. Okay.
Charles, this has nothing to do with
Next Friday. I'm not here on the Wednesday classes. So,
Okay.
but,
Yeah, the Mondays or the Wednesdays. Okay. Yeah.
This is
Gene?
This is not what you're doing, but could you send me the pictures of the challenges again? I don't know where they went, but they're not on my phone any longer.
Okay. All right. Did anybody else not get those?
What's that challenge all about?
Did you read the email?
Yeah, I did read it. I saw pictures of a house with a porch and.
Well, you saw pictures of a house, you saw some figures, you saw some landscapes, right?
Are we supposed to reproduce it or come up with something on our own? Or?
Larry, you're supposed to read the email.
You read the information.
Remember, I only had a 5th grade education, boss.
But it tells you it tells you what I want you to do with it. Okay. But in brief, okay, no. I don't want you to sit and copy the images. What I want you to do is I want you to use those images to kind of create something different, something new from it. Now, you can use some of the figures, maybe in a different context, right? You can use some of the colors. If you're painting, if you're a painter and you use color, then you can borrow from the color. Maybe you can use from the compositions of the photographs for how you might want to set up a composition of your drawing or your painting, right? That doesn't mean that you're copying the objects. It's just that you're borrowing or using different elements, out of that reference. And the thing is, I just sent you that as reference. That doesn't mean that you can't come up with your own influences as well. If you see something and you think, well, okay, I really like the colors and things in this sky, but I don't really want to paint a landscape, right? So what would it look like if I painted a vase of flowers and I used those same soft colors, because I like the contrast and the softness, of this piece, right? So again, you're not painting that thing, but you're using it as an inspiration to make something else.
The one with the bird in it was kind of moving to me. I like that one.
Okay. Yeah. So look, well, yeah, I don't want to go down that path. I don't want to give you a suggestion, but again.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
Take all of those images and, again, you might combine the images, you might take elements out of one or another and, put them together to create something totally different.
I'll probably just wait and see who else does this and steal their ideas.
No, because you've only got to the 21st. Okay, and if you read the email, what I want you to do is come back on the 21st, show us the final work, but also show us some of the preliminary work and the thinking process that you went through to get there.
The 21st
of September.
Yeah, what day is that, I wonder?
That's a Monday, and it's about, 2 weeks. 3 weeks.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be the parole officer that day. So, I mean, I don't.
This is it.
Larry,
Yes.
I want to see something from you.
Well, you'll see it, but I won't be here. Sorry.
Yeah, you will. Right. Anyway, you and your parole officer.
I am.
Okay.
Moses Anderson. He's my parole officer. Just got him this Monday.
Oh, well. Gee.
So work at night and then you can short the day.
That's right. You can still email it to us and we can still share it. Okay?
Did anybody know it's a crime to bite a police dog? I mean, I didn't know that.
It's
What?
to do what?
It's a crime to bite a police dog.
Oh, to bite a police dog?
To bite one, yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess they are a uniformed officer.
Well, he tried to bite first, and I bit back. I mean, I took his ear off, but it's okay.
This is added.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, it's 3:14.
It is. It is. Okay. Well, anyway, that's all the work I have to show you guys today. And
Thank you, Charles.
It's been fun.
Yes, sir, it has.
Yes, it's gotten a little weird and wacky every once in a while.
It was real. It was fun. It was real fun.
Ears off, stuff like that. But look, okay.
This is
This
this
is
is
set up.
morning, but I really enjoyed those fourth drawings. That's what I think I'm going to use as my inspiration. That the second guy you will call.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes, you drawing.
Yeah.
I need to work on that.
Use all of it. Okay. Now, keep in mind, okay, Monday is an official holiday. Okay. So we will not be here on Monday, but we will be back here on Wednesday. All right.
Okay.
Everybody got that?
Yeah. Everybody's got a whole day to paint on Monday.
Okay.
Have a safe trip.
All right. You
Okay.
guys-
Have a good weekend,
Drive
everyone.
safely.
Yes.
All right.
Bye.
We'll see you back here.
Bye, Bye, everyone.
Bye, y'all.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good night, John boy.
Bye.